right, now that we've routed this Keytop, we found the height for how far down to go. We found that the old plastic was about 55 thousandths of an inch thick, and the new plastic is about 75 thousandths of an inch thick, which means we took off 20 thousandths additional. If we only took off that 55, if we went right down to the wood, then we'd end up with this plastic that's 20 thousandths thicker. We'd end up 20 thousandths higher, so we had to go 20 thousandths down into the wood, and now we're ending up at the same height. Okay, now the job is to take this off, and here again we can't just pop it off with a knife. It's just on there too well. It wouldn't just easily pop off. So we're gonna route it off. There are various ways to do this, various jigs to use. I really like this one because you can set it so precisely. You can run it through a table saw, you can use a chop saw, you can even use a band saw, but this one I think is the most precise. Okay, so we should, in theory anyway, have to only set this once, and it should be good once. Whereas this jig you have to set for every new set of keys, because the thickness, the height of the key, the height of the key stick differs from key to key, from key set to key set. Whereas this one is only according to this thickness here. So this is our little carrier that holds the key, and once we have the router bit popping up above the surface by that thickness, which is about, let's measure it just out of curiosity. That, again, that's not something that you have to do. You don't have to know the thickness. So we've got to zero our calipers, and this thickness is about 78 thousandths of an inch. So in theory, if this jig was set, I didn't check it before this video, so we'll hope that this router bit is actually popping up above the surface about 78 thousandths of an inch. We'll run a little test just to be sure. Why don't we, do we have any scrap wood that we can run through? What's that?
Random key. That was just kind of up there.
I think I'll just.
What's in that box?
Oh yeah. Here's some scrap wood.
That's the block for the.
Oh, never mind.
Not quite wood.
So here's a little piece of scrap wood that we'll just kind of run through to gauge. So yeah, it looks like it is just a little bit above. I wonder if that's.
Looks shallow.
It does look shallow. I wonder if this scrap wood is just not straight. You have a straighter piece of scrap?
Whatever this is. Spacer for grand piano. Never mind.
Let's try, see if we can find another piece of scrap that's maybe a little straighter, a little flatter. That looks pretty flat. Well, it still looks pretty shallow. So in any case, that's going to be nowhere near that thickness. So we are going to get to reset this. It looks like. Let's go. Okay. So here again, I'm going to unlock the collar. Have it popping up there just a little bit. You have a look at that. Tell me what you think.
Still looks a little shallow.
A little shallow. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. So you see what I'm talking about? Like you can really make fine adjustments with this router, whereas like a chop saw or table saw would do the trick, but you can't be quite so precise. So it's kind of nice to be able to use this side.
Looks much better.
Okay. Pretty close?
Yeah.
Okay. All right, we'll call it good. This little pattern fits in these little notches, fit into these holes, into this particular router table. Let's see, for this, let's see, we go like that. I can't remember. I think it might be like this. Okay, I'm going to use this table. These are these little lines here and here. That's our little feet of our thing. And I'm going to put this in here again. I'm going to make sure we're straight up and down. So I'm going to make sure that this is touching the surface so that it's the same plane as this foot here and this foot here. Hold it nice and tight against here and against here. So we're just totally straight up and down. Lock it in tight. Okay, that should be really, really nice and tight. If it's not tight, you could have it fall. And nonetheless, I'm still gonna hold it pretty tight against the jig there. Okay. So we've got a little line that says start here, then we're going to go counterclockwise like that, and I think that will take that'll make the whole key front. Okay, now we don't really have anything to compare it against because it's gone, but we're going to assume now that this surface here, because of this jig, is going to be exactly where the old surface was, and this surface here, distance-wise, really it's from the center pin, from the balance rail pin to the end, is going to be exactly the same as well. We're going to glue this on later on, file it down, make it all beautiful and that notch, right? We're going to use these other jigs for that. But here again, just like with this one, we go into production mode and just do all 51 other keys, 52 total. We've done one so far.